What if the man hunting a killer is unknowingly leading the monster straight into his own home? Sa Aking Mga Kamay, released in 1996, is a psychological thriller that asks, how well do we really know the people around us, even those closest to us? Directed by Rory B. Quintos, from a story by Olivia M. Lamasan, and the screenplay made by the legendary Ricky Lee, the film dives deep into obsession, betrayal, and the darkness lurking beneath the surface of ordinary lives. The story revolves around Joven De La Rosa, played by Christopher De Leon, an NBI agent desperately trying to catch a serial killer known as the Cattleya Killer. But as Joven hunts for justice, he doesn't realize that his own family is about to be caught in the killer's web. Starring Aga Muhlach in a career-defining role as Jean Rivera, the film challenges the boundaries of trust, love, and evil, making it one of the most unforgettable Filipino thrillers of its time. So ito na nga yung kwento. Nag-umpisa ang istorya sa gitna ng isang police raid. Hinahanap ng NBI ang isang serial killer na tinatawag nilang Cattleya Killer. Isang gwapong lalaki na pumapatay ng mga babaeng may asawa na nagtataksil sa kanilang mga asawa. Ang killer ay nagiiwan ng Cattleya flower sa tabi ng kanilang mga bangkay as a trademark. Si Jean Rivera, played by Aga Muhlach, who appears to be a successful TV commercial director, is actually the serial killer. Sa umpisa pa lang, ipinapakita na methodical at calculated ang kanyang mga krimen. Ginagawa niya ito after every passionate encounter, then kill them brutally using a baseball bat. Ang sick twist dito, every murder niya ay tinuturing niyang revenge para sa infidelity ng kanyang own mother. Flashback tayo sa childhood ni Jean. Nakita niya yung tatay niya na pinatay ang kanyang nanay dahil nagkaroon ito ng affair. After that, nag-commit ng suicide ang kanyang tatay. Ang trauma na to ang naging foundation ng kanyang psychopathic behavior. Kaya every time na nakakakita siya ng married woman na unfaithful, nagiging trigger to para sa kanyang violence. Si Joven De La Rosa, isang dedikadong NBI agent, ang inatasang humuli sa Cattleya Killer. Dahil sa focus niya sa kaso, napapabayaan niya ang kanyang asawa na si Camille, played by Chin Chin Gutierrez, at anak na si Benji na may trauma at matinding takot sa dilim. Sa isang eksena, dinala ni Jean ang kanyang biktima, si Erlinda, sa kanilang private resort. Matapos ang krimen, natuntun ng NBI ang lugar at nagkaroon ng shootout. Sa gitna ng gulo, napatay ni Joven ang tiyuhin ni Jean na si Rolando, na naging dahilan ng matinding galit ni Jean at nagbunsod ng kanyang paghihiganti laban kay Joven. Habang lumalala ang kaso, nagkakahiwalay ang loob ng mag-asawang Joven at Camille. Sa isang pagkakataon, habang naghihintay si Camille kay Benji sa school, in-approach siya ni Jean. Unti-unti silang naging magkaibigan at nagkaroon ng mutual attraction. Ginamit ni Jean ang pagkakataong ito para mapalapit hindi lang kay Camille, kundi pati na rin kay Joven, na hindi alam na ang bagong kaibigan niya ay ang mismong hinahanap niyang serial killer. Sa isang pivotal na eksena, inimbitahan ni Jean si Camille sa bahay niya. Dito niya ikinuwento ang kanyang traumatic na childhood. Madalas siyang ikulong ng kanyang nanay sa cabinet kapag may nagawa siyang mali, at minsan nabasag niya ang isang vase na may Cattleya na simbolo ng kanyang trauma. Isang gabi, nasaksihan niya kung paano pinatay ng tatay niya ang nanay niya dahil sa pagtataksil bago nagpakamatay ang tatay niya. Dito na ipapakita kung saan nag-ugat ang twisted psyche ni Jean. Sa gabing yun, inamin ni Jean ang nararamdaman niya kay Camille, ngunit tinanggihan siya nito. Sa kabila ng pagtanggi, Pinilit ni Jean si Camille at nangyari ang isang marahas na eksena ng rape. Sa takot at hiya, hindi sinabi ni Camille kay Joven ang buong katotohanan, bagkus sinabi niya na siya ay drugged. Pero hindi pa doon natapos ang panggugulo ni Jean. Pinadalhan niya si Camille ng videotape ng nangyari at tinawagan siya para sabihing hawak niya ang wedding ring nito at nagbanta na isisiwalat niya ang lahat kay Joven. Habang lumalala ang sitwasyon, napilitan si Camille na aminin kay Joven ang nangyari. Sa climax ng pelikula, nagharap-harap sina Joven, Camille at Jean. Isang matinding habulan at confrontation ang naganap na nauwi sa pagkamatay ni Jean. Sa huli, sinubukang buuin muli ng pamilya De La Rosa ang kanilang buhay. Ngunit ang trauma at sugat na iniwan ng Cattleya Killer ay hindi madaling maghilom. Rory B. Quintos approached this material with incredible sophistication for a mid-90s Filipino thriller. Coming from her extensive television background, she brought a level of technical precision na rare sa commercial Filipino cinema noon. The cinematography by Romy Vitug ay crucial sa psychological impact ng film. According to reviews, may similarities to sa visual style ng Hihintayin Kita sa Langit. The use of shadows, particularly sa killing scenes, creates this theatrical atmosphere with smoke, darkness, and red flashing lights reflected sa face ni Jean during his violent episodes. It's very reminiscent of German expressionist cinema, using lighting to represent psychological states. The music by Nonong Buencamino deserves special mention din. Reviews point out na he masterfully knew where to put silence and shocking waves of music in each scene. The musical scoring heightens tension without being over the top, which was common sa Filipino films noon. Star Cinema's production values were top-notch for this period. The film received acknowledgement from the National Bureau of Investigation and Makati Medical Center, showing how seriously they took the research aspect. This attention to detail elevated the film beyond typical commercial fare. The editing by Jess Navarro maintained the psychological thriller pacing perfectly. The transitions between Jean's public persona as a charming director and his private identity as a killer were seamless, creating that sense of unease throughout. Sa Aking Mga Kamay tackles several heavy themes na relevant pa rin today. First, the cycle of violence and trauma. Jean's killings stem directly from witnessing his parents' murder-suicide, showing how untreated trauma can create monsters. Second, ang toxic masculinity and patriarchal control. Joven's obsession with work reflects traditional Filipino masculine values, the provider who sacrifices family time for more important pursuits. His immediate response to infidelity being violence shows how fragile masculine ego can be deadly. Third, women's agency and victim blaming. Camille is trapped in a system where her rape is treated as infidelity, where she can't speak truth without being condemned. Even the other victims, married women having affairs, are presented with complexity, hindi simply as good or evil. The Cattleya flower symbolism ay brilliant din. Traditionally, Cattleyas represent love, beauty, strength, and resilience. But sa film, it becomes a symbol of death and revenge, subverting its usual meaning. It's Jean's way of beautifying his violence, making it seem like justice. This film came during the second golden age of Philippine cinema, late 1980s to 1990s, when filmmakers were pushing boundaries and tackling serious social issues. It stood out kasi it refused to provide easy answers or clear-cut morality sa conservative Filipino society, showing a film where rape is central to the plot, where family structures are questioned, where traditional gender roles are critiqued. This was groundbreaking. Chin Chin Gutierrez received a famous nomination for Best Actress, recognition that the industry acknowledged her brave performance sa controversial material. The film also influenced later Filipino psychological thrillers. In 2023, Amazon Prime released Cattleya Killer, a series sequel starring Arjo Ataide, and bringing back Christopher De Leon. This shows the lasting impact of the original, that modern audiences still find these themes relevant. The broader significance of the film, it challenged Filipino audiences to examine their own attitudes toward family, gender, and violence. Hindi siya nag-offer ng comfortable escape. Instead, it forced viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about Philippine society. Today, with rising awareness about domestic violence, mental health, and women's rights, Sa Aking Mga Kamay remains disturbingly prescient. It predicted conversations we're still having about consent, victim blaming, and the intergenerational transmission of trauma. The film proves that Filipino cinema, when given creative freedom and tackled by skilled filmmakers, can create works that are both entertaining and intellectually challenging. It remains one of the most sophisticated psychological thrillers ever produced sa Philippine cinema, and its themes continue to resonate sa modern Filipino society. Sa Aking Mga Kamay isn't just a thriller. It's a mirror reflecting the darkest aspects of Filipino family and society. Through brilliant performances, especially by Aga Muhlach's completely against-type role, Chin Chin Gutierrez's complex portrayal of victimhood, and Christopher De Leon's conflicted patriarch, the film created a lasting impact sa Philippine cinema. It showed that Filipino audiences were ready for more sophisticated, challenging material, paving the way for future filmmakers to tackle difficult subjects with intelligence and artistry. Almost 30 years later, its questions about masculinity, trauma, and justice remain painfully relevant, making it a true classic ng Philippine psychological cinema